Lastly, we're going to look at factoring differences of squares, which are binomials. Binomial, as opposed to trinomial, means that it's going to have two terms. Now, differences of squares, one example would be like number 1 from your assignment, x squared minus 100. Okay, binomial, meaning it has two terms. This is the first part, this is first term, second term. Okay, two terms. And it has a difference. Right here is the difference, the subtract sign. Now, you are going to see two-termed binomials with a plus sign. That does not apply to how to factor differences of squares. There absolutely has to be a subtract sign in there. Now, we know that this is going to factor into two factors, just like regular. And it's similar to the perfect square trinomials in that the first and the second term are both perfect squares. So, just like the perfect square trinomial, in order to factor a difference of squares, we take the square root of the first term. The square root of x squared would be x. And we take the square root of the second term. The square root of 100 is 10. Sign-wise, we will always be adding in opposite signs, 1 plus and 1 minus. And you can put a little star beside this when you're writing it down in your flip book, that we must use opposite signs in each factor. So let's do one more example. How about 49t squared subtract 144. If I were asked to factor that, I could see, oh, it's a binomial. Is it a difference of squares? Is this a perfect square? Yes. Is this a perfect square? Yes. Is it a difference? Yes. Therefore, we can use this form to factor square root of the first term plus the square root of the second term multiplied by the square root of the first term, subtract square root of the second term. And that would be the factor. Of course, it's always a good idea to check that, so let's multiply it out. If we use the acronym FOIL, meaning first terms, 7t times 7t. Outside terms, 7t multiplied by negative 12. Oh boy, 84, I think. T, 12 multiplied by 7t, and 12 multiplied by negative 12. Now, when you multiply out a difference of squares, it always happens that these two terms cancel out. Okay, and then we're left with 49t squared subtract 144, which is what we started with. So those are the correct factors.